So why don't you give us a brief, just like minute or two introduction about your background and for folks who don't know you, a bit about yourself.
Good. Well, I am Carol Westfall. I've been the mayor for 3.5 or 3 3/4 year, and enjoyed it. It's been an honor. I have not had any political background before I started this. I was a business owner, and I saw that there were some issues with small businesses, and so I was trying to work with the city and kind of went round and round and started thinking, well, we can do better than this, and how could I participate? And then the mayor that was there was, had been there for many, many years, and I thought, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and see what happens. If I can make a difference, I certainly want to. And so I think one of my strong points is being able to get people to the table, and people that are passionate about certain issues, and come to the table and actually resolve things. So we ended up putting the marijuana group together, and we had a little bit of hurdles, but we crossed them, and we were able to just bring all those people that had an interest in it. We had a certain criteria. They wanted to have somebody in law enforcement, somebody in education, and we were able to find all those people and get them all together, and we have a great system. I mean, it's working. Now we're working on an equity group, and this equity group is also passionate about helping and making sure that everybody has an equal opportunity. So, so these things are very important for our community, because we want to be on the forefront of this. It has been something that if we can make a difference here in this little community, maybe we can make a big difference elsewhere. But it's very important here that we see an issue, we deal with it.
What's maybe surprised you about deciding to run for office and thinking you could make a difference, and now 3 3/4 years later, like what was that first term like? What did you learn?
Well, that's why I'm running again, is because the first 4 years you're trying to find your ground, where you fit in, and what your mission basically is, and I was able to do that. And so we are working very well right now with the city and the county. Well, the county is we're working together, and I think the biggest issue, or the biggest thing I learned, was I am not a voting member. I will break votes, I break ties, and I can veto, but I don't vote. And so I am able to ask questions that I think are very important, that are maybe missing when we do have discussions, and I can bring those up, and because our staff has recommendations. But if they're not touching on these certain points that I think are very important, that are going to be affecting us, then I'm able to bring those up, and we are able to make some really great decisions. And I think that's where I can fit in, and where I have fit in and helped out.
Yeah. It's kind of a unique situation. I mean, I know many Oregon cities have that, but what are the attributes then of a good mayor? When you're not a voting member, you're sort of the leader, it seems like, of the discussion. It's like, are there attributes you think that are important to that job?
Oh, it's huge. You're able to get everybody to the table, people that can make these decisions. But being able to get along with people is very important. And representing the citizens in the best light. Out at the airfield, we got a 50-year contract, which was unheard of. And we were able to get that. It wasn't all my work. It's always a collaboration of everybody. But I got the honor to step up for that, and that was huge. And now we're going to be getting more airplanes up here. So these are all economic development issues with our city that we need. We need this driver. And also, I think we're doing a great job environmentally. We're always looking at who's coming in. We work with CASITA, and making sure that the people that do come in to do business here are also in line with our thinking on the environment.
I wonder if you could just briefly talk about the state of the city. Obviously, we're in the middle of COVID. It has sort of upended a lot of things. Give us your take on the state of the city right now and kind of its future prospects.
I think the city's doing very well, and it is because of this collaboration. But we've got General Duffy's coming in, we've got the Balsinger building that is now going to be the project. That's going to be bringing in housing and merchants down below. We've got People's Bank being built, we've got the new Fairfield. The merchants downtown, because of COVID, are struggling, but the city has really reached out to the public on ideas, and so what we have done is we have received some money that we were able to disperse, and that went really well with the restaurants. So the city is very much aware of helping out our Main Street and our business people, because we understand that they are so important to our community. So I think we're financially doing well. Building is going crazy, and that is supply and demand. We certainly need more housing. So you are seeing lots of housing going up, and so I think it's doing very well. And we have lots of people stepping up and volunteering, so we have the community backing us as well, which is very important.
What would you do with another term then? You mentioned you think that you're in a good financial state and things are going well. What would be your goals for another term?
Well, we certainly could. I would love to have an art corridor, because I think art is ways of. I'm also on the economic regional group, and so bringing in business is very important. We have the Riverside Drive area that I would love to see as a art corridor, and bringing in sculptures and glass blowers, and also native work, because that is a historical site. So celebrating our neighbors and having a better relationship is very important. There's educationally, we have opportunities for children to do better. We've got our parks that have really stepped up, and we've got a brand new dog park, which brings in multi-generational people, but it really is a community builder. So things like that we can make this community, we can enhance it. We've got we've got trails for biking. So we need to be thinking of just ways of promoting our area, but in an environmentally friendly aspect.
I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the relationships between city council in particular. I know that has been a problem in the past, a professional working relationship between all councilors, and how you think that's going now, and maybe looking forward, how you think that could change, get better, deteriorate. Tell me sort of how city council is working together.
Well, I think we have a very good working relationship. We're very respectful of one another.
Mm-hmm.
Our meetings have never had any issues, and they're getting their information, processing it, coming, and we're getting staff's reports.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for the most part, we're doing very well. It's a respectful thing, and something the whole city should be proud of. I think we're doing a very good job listening to one another's ideas.
Was that a priority of yours, or something you went out of your way to foster? Or?
Well, I did see what was going on, and I thought, this is ridiculous, much like our presidential debates. It's just not acceptable. We need to be respectful, and in order to have a good communication, we need to be listening to one another and listening to our constituents.
What other big issues do you think the city is facing? What's kind of like on your agenda?
Well, I think, water quality is a big issue that we're dealing with, and, the city is actually going out and looking at somebody to look at our water issue, because we are on a major flyway for the birds, and a healthy lake is a healthy community, and we can do so much more. It is a dying lake, so there are many lakes like this throughout the world, and they have been able to improve on it. So, working on things environmentally are very important, and impact our community.
Yeah. What can the city do about that?
Well, like we are doing right now, we're looking at, groups that can come in that have a history of being able to make a difference in a lake like ours, and, make sure that they have the opportunity. So they are gonna be working on Lake Awana, they're looking at that, and, hopefully we can see some changes there. I think, the dam removal is something that, hopefully will bring back fish. Just water quality, air quality.
Where does city water come from?
We have, wells,
Mhm.
so it's groundwater.
Yeah. How is the long-term outlook for that?
It's looking good, and just like anywhere else, I'm sure the level has dropped because of drought. So hoping for a lot of water this winter, and, but it does look good, and it's sustaining us, and it's looking fine.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about both the potential and the problems with the lakes? I mean, I you know, that's one thing when you're new to a place, it's just so visually interesting, and you know that there are, I imagine, lots of potentials of increasing tourism and just, you know, community, you know, just places for a community to celebrate, you know, all that kind of stuff. So when you look at that, and you know, what goes through your minds about how to sort of.
Well, we do harvest, there's lots of companies here that harvest the algae for health purposes, and it goes in dog food, goes in so many different products.
Right.
I think that we can have a balance. We can have some deep pockets so that we can have that cold water and enough water for farmers. We just have to really, there is a lot involved, so you have lots of people involved in the water. You can't just go out there and do anything. But they're looking at aeration. The suckerfish is very important to the tribe. For all of us, it's an endangered fish that is really going to impact us, so we need to figure out why it's dying. But no, the lake, I see sailboats out there when they have their regattas, and it's beautiful. I used to have a little business there where we did kayak rentals, and it's a beautiful lake. You get a wonderful perspective from the lake looking at our city. It's just the quality we need to improve on. And like there's going to be a midge festival, and they're going to make more, you know, we're going to celebrate the midges. So, but also we're going to be learning that we could reduce the population a bit and have a little more management in that aspect. But they will be talking about what color to paint your house, what lights, if you live around the lake, will reduce the impact of those midges affecting your home, which is very important.
I'm curious to you, what would you say is probably your biggest accomplishment in your first term?
Well, I'll tell you, when I first got in, we didn't have any little Christmas lights downtown. And so I had people coming in and they were going like, where's our Christmas spirit? And so we went ahead, I got those people that were yelling the loudest, and I said, do you want to be on a committee? So we started this Twinkle Committee, and we were able to get those lights up and banners for Christmas, and we've been using those ever since. And that's always nice. But working with children, you know, the smart readers, going and reading with them is fun. But impactful, I would say, we have done lots of improvements, and so, and just being having a little part of that has made it a difference, and I think our community is better for it.
What are the challenges for the city that you see looking forward?
Challenges are always going to be enough money, because right now with COVID and people possibly, our taxes, property taxes not coming in. So
Mhm.
those are all things we're aware of and we're already set out for. So, but the challenge is we do have 22 employees that are going to be retiring, so it's, that's not really my issue, that's
Mhm.
city managers, but, it's just the growth and making sure that we have opportunities for the new people to get involved, become part of the community, and just working together.
You mentioned city manager, and I wonder if you can talk a little bit about city staff, how the council is working with city staff now, if you think that's a good relationship, and if you see any ways to improve.
I think they're very accessible, they listen to us, they basically work for council and myself, and so, actually it's a great relationship, we have a very good relationship with them. We see an issue and any one of us can come up and talk to the city manager and say, well, what about this? And he gets on it, and, so we are able to meet the needs of the citizens.
All right, we're running right up against it here. I wonder if, we usually try to end with, would you have anything, or just, we'd like to give you the chance to give your stump speech kind of thing, to make your appeal to voters, like why you are the right person to be in this position.
I feel that we need the positive, outlook, and I am very positive. I'm always looking for a win-win, and I'm always looking for a way to make it work. Because I don't really think any idea is a bad idea. It's how can we tweak it to make it work for the citizens. So I just feel that it has been an honor and a privilege to represent the citizens